Oh, there you go. Thank you. Okay, so we're in the middle of the machlokes Reb Chanina ben Gamliel and Reb Meir about Tanai Kafel. Right, so we had Bnei Gad, Bnei Ruvain. So they made I guess a pact with Moshe Rabbeinu. They wanted to stay in Gilad. They didn't want to go over Eretz Canaan. They didn't want to live there. So Moshe Rabbeinu made a deal with them and said, if you come help us, then you can have it. And if you don't, then you can't have it. So that's a machlokes, whether that was a Tanai Kafel, meaning anytime you make a deal with somebody, right, then it's a problem. Meaning if you don't make the Tanai Kafel, meaning you have to say both ends of the deal, then it's a problem. So Reb Chanina ben Gamliel said no, you don't need a Tanai Kafel, and Reb Meir says you do need a Tanai Kafel. So now the Gemara is asking Kasha. So Bishlam Reb Chanina ben Gamliel, 4 lines down. Sound Bishlam Reb Chanina ben Gamliel, Hainu Div. This is talking about what the Kohen tells the Saita. Right? The Kohen tells the Saita, he says, if you before he gives her the drink, if you slept with it, then if not. So if you didn't sleep with, or a man didn't sleep with you, and you have not, if you weren't a Saita under, meaning tuma, meaning she wasn't promiscuous under her husband, Naki, she's going to be clean. Naki means clean, right? Meaning so according to Reb Chanina ben Gamliel, it doesn't say a double lashon. It says if you didn't sleep with any man, meaning if you weren't promiscuous, right, then you're going to be fine. Rameir should have said chinaki, right, meaning from the word chenek, that she should choke. Right? Meaning it should have said that you'd have. It's interesting that the Gemara is saying that the Torah should have added words, but according to Rameir, it should have said "V'im loy shachav isha," and then "V'im shachav chinkin." If you do, meaning that the Torah should have doubled up the lashon. It should have said if you didn't, fine, but if you did, you're going to get chenek. Right? So how come according to Rameir, the Torah didn't double it up? So Rav Tanchum says, and this is one of the more interesting ways to darshan the Torah, says it's hinaki ksiv. That's our version, right? Meaning it says it hinaki, which meaning it has it with a yud, it has it without a yud. Rashi says. So therefore, with the Messiahs, we can darshan it as hinaki. Right? Because it was written without the yud, we can now pronounce it with a ches. I can't say I understand how that works. Again, hinaki can be spelled with a yud or without a yud. It's spelled without a yud. So Mamela, since it's spelled without a yud, so therefore we can have a ches with it also. Right? Okay, fine. And the Gemara says, Bishlam Rameir Hainu Dusiv Hinaki. So that according to Rameir, so we understand why it said a word hinaki. El Rav Chanina ben Gamliel, but according to Gamliel, what you need that whole word in the first place for? Right? Meaning, we understand according to Rameir, you needed to use the word hinaki because we're going to darshan it as hinaki. Fine, but according to Rav Gamliel, who doesn't need a Tanai Kafel, right? Say a different lashon. Sechaya, Rashi says, like, or a different lashon, like she'll live. So it's true. No, we need it. If she didn't sleep with any man, then she'll be clean. But if she did sleep, she's not going to be clean, and she's not going to be killed either. So you would think that it's just an Isser, Kamash Malan, that's what it's telling you. No, there's going to be, if she was Mizana, she's going to end up dying. Meaning if she drinks the drink, she's going to end up dying. I mean, again, this is all going on before the Kohen gives her the drink. He says, if you slept with a man and you're lying, you're gonna die. So that's why it's saying her not to think like, oh, if you drink the drink, so you're going through enough punishment, so maybe you'll get out of it. It's saying, no, you are going to die. Fine. So then now we have another raya to Rameir, where it says by Paraduma, you have to, when somebody becomes Tamei Mace, you have to sprinkle on the person the Efer Chatas together with water. You have to sprinkle it on the 3rd and the 7th day. Right? So he is going to be the water, it's called Mei Chatas. It's going to be sprinkled on him on the 3rd day, on the 7th day, and that will make him tar. And if he doesn't, then on the 3rd and the 7th day, then he's not going to become tar. So you see, it's a double lashon. Again, if the guy's Tomei Mace and they sprinkle on him on the 3rd and 7th day, he's going to be tar. And if they don't, he's going to be Tomei. But according to Reb Chanina ben Gamliel, why do you have to need a Tanai Kafel? Why does it have to say the other end? We know that automatically. Our answer is the mitzvah hazah is on the 3rd and the 7th day. But let's say you did it on one day, meaning not the 3rd and the 7th day, but you did it just on the 3rd day. Then you would think you're okay. If you did it, you did it. Kamash Malan. It's teaching us that no, that you need to have it specifically on the 3rd and 7th day. So then he's the thing.
Why would I think that only one of them is good if the Torah says two?
That's a lechatchila. It's a mitzvah. Meaning mitzvah, it's the mitzvah to do it on the 3rd and 7th. And if you only did it on one, but then you did it. Right? Rashi really answers your kasha. Rashi says that the beginning of the pasuk doesn't say it is a lashon of a t'nai. It says im yischata, it just says you should do this. So mainly you would think, okay, do it l'chatchila. Right? If you use the lashon of a t'nai, then you would think taka that it would need a t'nai kaf. But it's not saying that. Yeah. Fine. So that's really the pshat. So then the Gemara asks, he's a hatar. So why do you need it for? Right? Meaning this is Rashi says this kasha on both shitas. Right? Meaning we already said it once before that really this is one of those cases where we should go through the psukim. But it already said it once that you're sprinkling them on the 3rd and the 7th. I mean, I'll read the pasuk. It says, "V'hiza atar ala tamei b'yom hashlishi v'yom hashvi v'chitay b'yom hashvi v'chibes v'gada v'rachatz v'mayim v'tar v'erav." That's the second pasuk. And the first pasuk, which is 7 psukim before, says, "Hu yischata b'yom hashishi v'yom hashvi yitar b'lim lo yischata v'yom hashvi v'yom hashvi." So the pasuk just seems to be repetitive, right? So Gemara answers, when it says the 3rd day, it's coming to tell you don't do it on the 2nd day. And Shvi, when it says on the 7th day, shishi, to exclude the 6th day, to come in Meitara, because if you only sprinkle on the 2nd day and then the 6th day, you're not going to have a 7 days. But let's say you do it on the 3rd day or on the 8th day, to come mafish from Meitara, all you're doing is adding on a day to the tahara. Ema shaper tummy. So you would think that that's also good. Kamash Malan. So that's what the chiddush is, that it doesn't work even if you're extending it, right? Meaning it's an interesting thing. You'd think, why do you have maybe, right? Maybe if you do it early, so let's sprinkle on the 3rd and the 7th. Fine. So what happens if you sprinkle on the 3rd and the 6th? Okay, so obviously that's not good because the guy doesn't have 7 clean days. But let's say you go sprinkle it on the 3rd and the 8th. So then what's the big deal? You didn't do it right, but so you extended the tumah time by an extra day. Okay, what's the big deal? So Kamash Malan, the pasuk's telling you otherwise. This comes up a lot. With a woman during the 7 clean days. Very similar case, right? So there's 3 shittas in Shulchan Aruch. How many bedikas a woman has to do in the 7 clean days? Either 1 on day 1 and 1 on day 7, or 2 every single day of the 7 days, or just 1 on day 1 and just 1 during the 7 clean days. So we paskin. The Shulchan Aruch says you got to do 1 on day 1, 1 on day 7, and he says ve'ein lo hakel. Shulchan Aruch says, and if you don't do it on day 1 and day 7, then it's a problem. So let's say a woman only does a bedika on day 1, and then she doesn't do a bedika, and she forgets her bedika on day 7. So what's her din? So so a lot of women think, I'll just do the bedika tomorrow. Even though it's day 8 and you extended her Tuma by another day. So you think, what's the big deal? No good. She has to wait another 7 clean days. According to the basic halacha Shulchan Aruch, she has to wait another 7 clean days. This happens very, very often. I mean, I'm saying I don't know what very often means, but the Shiloh comes up, I don't know, once a week, once every other week for sure. For sure. Now that's why a lot of Rabbanim will say during Shiva Nikiyim, you should do a B'dik on day 1 and day 4 and then day 7. Meaning, let's say a woman has cuts or whatever, she has a hard time with B'dika. So we'll say, instead of saying do 1 and 7, which is the minimum, they'll say do 1 and 4 and 7. Why? Because if she does one on day 4 and then she forgets on day 7, then she could do day 8. Because you can't go, the din is you can't go more than 5 days without checking yourself. Hope I'm not being confusing, right? So therefore, day 4 makes it that if she forgets on day 7, then you could extend it. Because basically you're just extending you're basically extending the 7 clean days where it started, instead of starting on day 1, it started on day 2. Okay, I think I'm getting a little sidetracked. Point is yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so the point is that you can't touch just you can't just say, oh, what's the big deal? She's tummy for another day. Right? You have to, it has to fit into the parameters. Right?
Yeah, so the point being over here by Tumas Maze is like, no, so you have to start all over again if you messed up by
Yes, yeah. As far as
right, because that's
as far as I understand
it's
what
a
the makes,
no matter how you
have to start again.
Yeah, it's a kike. Yeah,
correct. Yeah.
Are we finished with Tanai Kofel?
We got 2 more lines. So then the Gemara says, yeah, go ahead.
No, if I want to finish, I want to know how we paskin at the end. We'll wait till you finish.
We paskin, you need Tanai Kofel. Why does it say he needs to be Bechita b'yom she becomes tar on the 7th day, right? We already said that a few times, right? It's Rechsag, I mean, Hanami L'Kachim. You would think that's only for Kachim, right? Truma b'chad nami saga. Maybe if we're just making him tar in order to eat truma, then just sprinkling on one of those days is enough. Kamash Malan, that it's not enough. Kamash Malan, that for all things you need to be on the 3rd and the 7th day. Yeah.
So we come out that you need Tanai Kofel. We just finished with Gittin and a bunch of Tanayim in Kiddushin. Me'achshav ad Shloshim Yom. Where was the Tanai Kofel in those?
I think those mean he had to say, and if those, I think it's understood that he made the Tanai Kofel.
Okay.
That's how I understand it. But I could be wrong. Right. Yeah, but anyways, I'm pretty sure that means it's understood that it's a Tanai Kofel. Okay, Sog the Mishnah. Now we're out of Tanai Kofel. Now we're back into Mekach Tois. Okay. Right. A Makadesh is a Isha. A guy marries a woman V'Amar and he says, Kasavra Yisi she Kehenes. And she said, I thought she was a Kohen. A Bas Kohen, Varehi Levi, and she was a Levi. Levi Varehi Kohenes. Or I thought she was a Levi and she was a Bas Kohen. Aniya, I thought she was poor. Varehi Ashira, she's wealthy. Ashira Varehi Aniya, wealthy, and I thought she's poor. She didn't make him. She did not fool him. He fooled himself. Right? So, meaning she didn't say, had she said something about it, then it would be a problem. But Lamaisa, this was just his misunderstanding of the situation. So it's not a Mekach Tois. A guy tells a woman, now there's a new sugya. So that's the first part is Mekach Tois. The second part, now we get into a sugya that's going to go for the next couple of blot. Meaning, can you make a kinyan on something that doesn't exist yet, that it will eventually exist? Right, so a guy tells a woman, you're Mekudeshesli after I become a ger. Or after you, meaning the wife, who become a ger. After I free you as a slave. Or after you get freed.
So she accepts these? She
Why
has to
not?
say
Well, the
yes
first
at the
time-
moment.
Yeah.
Why are they asking kashas on the Mishnah?
Okay,
It's only
sorry.
the Mishnah.
No
You got the whole
problem.
Gemara
Sorry.
to ask kashas. You know, I think-
Okay.
No, he's not Rachamim. He's asking a Pasha thing. When is this Kiddushin happening? Or later?
Okay, but I'm sure the Gemara's got to talk about it. What's that?
I don't know if the Gemara talks about it. But meaning, why not just wait? That's what you're asking, David. He doesn't want anybody
She's
to chop her.
answering yes, and he's not Jewish, and she's answering yes, and she's not Jewish. So yes, it's not going to be. It's not valid until they're Megayer, but she's saying yes,
Right.
and one of them is not Jewish.
Correct. So they're saying
About
that
to go
that's-
into, he's
yeah,
about
okay,
to walk
that's-
into
so
the
that's what happens.
mikveh, okay? David, set up the case. He's about to walk into the mikveh, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry for asking the question. I'll just pretend like I don't.
you should have been at Avos Abanim. You should have been at Avos Abanim.
They don't start till after they change the clock. I would be there. They don't change.
No, Shayasha started.
I don't
tonight.
go to Shoyeshiv anymore. I go to Rabbi Greenberg.
Whoa,
Okay,
whoa,
okay.
whoa!
Sorry,
We're getting the
sorry.
politics from Far Rockaway.
There you go.
There's
Yeah.
no politics. I moved 5 years ago. It's no politics anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so Enochanami, because that's exactly what the Gemara is saying, that it's going to happen later on. Right? Yeah. Fine. So again, the next case is stranger. He says, I'm gonna marry you after your husband dies, or after your sister dies, right? Because the guy is not allowed to marry his wife's sister while the sister's still alive. Once she dies, it's allowed. Or after you get chalitza, then in those cases she's not mikudeshes. Meaning, see, David, you're right. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. All these cases don't work because it's a davar shalab ala olam, right? And memela, it's the tzad that it's going to work. The tzad that it's going to work is because the kinyan's going to happen later. We're saying no, it doesn't work because it's only in the future. Imagine this one. Guy tells his friend, if your wife is going to give birth to a girl, I'm marrying her. She's not mikudeshes, right? Then there's a question of whether to read the next. And this is really going to be in the Gemara. If his friend's wife is visibly pregnant, vukar ubra, meaning it's recognizable, dvaru kayamin, then his words are mekuyim bim yolda nekeva mikudeshes. Okay, we'll have to see in the Gemara if exactly what changes about that case. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe this is the makar for, everybody goes meshuga if you don't make a kiddush for your daughter, right? So then, she might not get a shidduch. Right? That thing that's out there in the world. Maybe because a guy by the kiddush saying, I want to marry her, but the truth is there, it doesn't work because she's already born. So then that's not a davar shalab al oilam. So maybe it's on the good wishes. Ich weiß nicht. Anyways, point is davar shalab al oilam. You can't do a kinyan according to the Mishnah. Fine. So Gemara says, Tnan Hasam, we learned in the Mishnah over there, Ain't Tarmin min atala shalom mechuber. So there's such thing as giving truma. Right? Now, when things are attached to the ground, you're not chayiv in truma. You only chayiv in truma once things become detached. So ain't Tarmin min atala shalom mechuber. So therefore, what are you going to do? You want to take truma from detached things and give it on something that's attached. That's not going to work. So you can't do it. Ein taram and atala shalom mechuber. Ve'im taram ein truma truma. And if you did do it, the truma is not a truma, right? Because you have to be giving on the same types of things, and therefore it's going to be tevel, right? It's a similar question. It's also a common question that comes up for those that give meiser ksafim, which Baruch Hashem, a lot of Klal Yisrael gives meiser. Can you give meiser in advance before you earn the money and count it? I mean, a guy already gave his meiser for this month, and now people were asking it about now that they gave their meiser and they want to give for the Muhammad, Eretz Yisrael or help out, so they want to use meiser money. Okay, whether that's a question or not is a different story. We already discussed that. I think maybe in the morning we discussed it. But let's say they want to give it in advance, so they haven't earned the money yet.
If a guy gets a paycheck every 2 weeks, so maybe that's the thing that's not davar shalom ba'olam.
Why is that not davar shalom ba'olam?
Well, I mean, because he might not be working.
He's guaranteed that he's getting it in 2 weeks. So now now it's a fact that he has it now.
I mean, it's a chazaka usually.
So
yeah, but he still didn't earn it.
Yeah, but it's a chazaka that he's going to get it.
No, but see, there's two different things. It could be he earned it, he just didn't get the paycheck yet. That's one.
So what
thing.
does he? What does he want to know? I don't understand. What's the question? What does he want to know?
Can he give Meiser money
in advance, Abu? That's what it is.
What's that? I don't understand what both of you are saying. I don't have no idea what you mean.
The question is as follows: he didn't earn his money yet.
Okay.
He wants to take the 10% off now.
Okay, so what is the problem?
He's taking 10% off.
Who's stopping him?
He's taking
that count
10%.
as Meister?
He's taking 10% off of nothing. Meaning,
does he
a
have
guy comes and
$10
takes
in
off.
his hand? Is he giving money now? So what is
but he
his
wants
problem? What is
because
the
he wants
issue? I don't understand.
Okay, I'm trying to explain it. He's trying to he wants to count the 10% off the $100 that he's going to earn next week. Maybe he can't take off the $10 because it's not there. Meaning, let's say a guy wakes up today and he says, "Oh, I have a few stalks of corn, not stalks, whatever, stalks of wheat sitting here, and I'm gonna take it off of my truma, even though I haven't even cut my truma yet." Right? So the Gemara is saying you can't do that, because it has to come, cut truma has to be taken off from cut truma. You can't take off cut truma now for truma that will eventually be chai, from grain that will eventually be chai. So Mamela,
not the same thing.
I don't understand. I don't understand that either. Why can't
he have a $10 bill in his hand now? So let him
yes,
put it
but
in
can
the
it count?
Let him put it
Does
in the
it count for
No, he's not asking if he can give $10 now. Everyone says he can give $10 now. He wants to know if that would pater him from the Meiser money he earns next month. So the money he earns next month.
So when he gets the money
$10
next month, he'll ask the rabbi, what the hell is he asking him for now?
Because
what the hell is he asking for now?
Good. Enochanami. But let's say he did it. So let's say he asks afterwards. Now, what are we going to tell him?
Now you'll tell him in a month from now. It's not happening today. He doesn't have the money yet. According to you, he doesn't have the money yet. So what are you answering him for?
He's not.
You're right.
You can ask better. You ask better. Say pledging money from a future deal. The mice are ready for the money for a future deal that's going to close at the end of the year.
Oh my God.
Again, you're right. So that's exactly the Shilar.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyways, so okay, but that's the Shiloh. The mice, it's a serious Shiloh. What the Paiskim say, Rabban, you're not going to like this. The Paiskim say the easiest way to get around the Shiloh is to lend the money to Meiser and pay yourself back with it. Meaning, I'm going to lend the $10 to Meiser right now. Right? I lent it to Tzedakah. Right? Fine. Now, when I earn my $100 next week, I'm going to pay myself back with the Meiser money from that. Right? And like this, you're fine. Now, I don't know if that, you hear that?
I have a different thing. How are you allowed to pledge in the future to Davar Shalom Ba'olam?
Zevi, you don't want to be asking that question, Zevi. I'm telling you, stay away from there, Zevi.
I told you MS. We go MS. Forget about this. I'm not talking about what I do for a living.
That doesn't have to be MS.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying, Zev.
How am I allowed to pledge on a Davar Shalom Ba'olam?
What are you pledging?
I'm pledging $1,000 on money I'll make down the road.
I thought he was
pledge it-
pledging on a wing that they didn't build yet.
I understand. You can pledge. I can pledge whatever money I want. I mean, that's what you.
How are you allowed to
say?
You're pledging money on money you never made.
What do you mean you never make it?
I'm pledging $10,000 for a building, and
You're
I
never
don't have
ever
the
going to
money.
make any more money in the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
so you
Pledge
made the
something.
pledge. So what is your problem? What is your problem?
How am I
What do
allowed
you
to
want?
pledge on a David Shalom?
Why can't you? You can say whatever the hell you want. Say I'm drinking a soda in an hour. So drink the soda or don't drink the soda. What does that have to do with anything?
It depends if you. It depends if your words are cheap. If your word doesn't mean anything,
My
you're
words
right.
are cheap. My words are cheap. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. What
I
are you
don't
going to
think
do?
that-
If the guys can say it, I don't understand what you're. Is the guy allowed to say it? You can say
Ramaran, we don't
whatever you
talk to
want.
people whose videos are off.
It's
He doesn't
unbelievable.
know his videos off. He doesn't know his videos off, Peretz. I guarantee you.
Maybe he thought he
now
was
it's on.
muted.
Okay.
I'm just providing nice Saturday night entertainment for Simon. He's enjoying himself. That's all I'm accomplishing. I'm making a Yid feel happy. So good. In the time of sorrows, I'm making a Yid, giving Yid some good time. So that's worth it.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking, Zev. I'm saying a guy pledges money. He hopes he makes it. If not, he's going to have to figure out what to do with his pledge.
I don't know. It
How am
sounds
I
like
allowed to
it
be-
sounded like
how am I
Ramara
allowed
gave
to be
Sevi a pledge for the new
myself?
building.
On a
That's
David
what it
Shalom
sounded like.
Alolim. How am I allowed to be mechayiv myself on a David Shalom Alolim?
What do you mean? You're being mechayiv yourself. If you're going to have to beg, borrow, and steal to fill your pledge, that's what you're going to have to do.
Is it considered a pledge?
I don't know. Depends what you told them.
You told them I'm giving you $10,000 and you don't have the money
so
now.
He's
That's
going to end up
fine.
getting
You're
off
gonna
making a bunch of
you're
phone
gonna-
calls in a minute.
You're going to have to come up with the money. That's all. You're going to have to come up with the money.
Is it considered a pledge or not?
Of course it's considered a pledge.
Why? It's David Shalom Alolim.
So what do you mean? I don't understand. That you're not making makneh somebody. You're just promising something.
You're
No,
never going to make
kinyan,
another
kinyan.
dollar the rest of your life?
You're not making a kinyan now, Zev. Dover Shalom B'La'olam we're talking about making a kinyan right now on something that doesn't exist. When you make a pledge, that's not a kinyan. You're just telling the guy, I'm going to give you money, new shine. You know what I mean?
When I'm giving
How many
a
times I
proof
told
to
you-
a lady,
So Yaakov, you have to understand, Reb Zev, when somebody gives a pledge, he takes it mamish like it's a kinyan. There's no turning back on that pledge. Like all the
guess
other
you're right.
tuitions.
Depends which.
You promised tuition. It
Very
doesn't
good.
matter that you lost your job or anything else. You signed the contract.
Very good, Parrots. I guess we're on two different sides of the ball, me and Zev. Yeah, I hear. Listen, Zev, how many times I tell my wife I'm taking out the garbage, and I never took it out, saying, "Well, it's not a kinyan. I hope not."
That's
Right?
a chazukah that she knows you're not going to have. It's not going to happen.
if you stay,
No,
True.
If she, David, he has a stock from Rav Hoffman. Is 2 dirty tissues is considered garbage. So he keeps 2 dirty tissues in his pocket. No, so he's able to be mekayim.
if you want to be Mekadosh a lady, and it's you give her a proof to not on something Shaloi Dav Ba'alam. What did you do? Where was the kinyan?
What with a kinyan of Dover Shalom B'La'olam?
Yeah, where's the kinyan?
Right? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm giving you $1 right now, and I'm telling you I'm marrying your daughter when she's born.
She's
That's
what is that? Well, she's not around. Who
Right.
you giving
So,
it to?
but I'm giving. That's exactly what David Spider was asking before. What's going on over here? The guy's not even Jewish in the middle case, right?
I got
Jacob,
yelled at for that.
Jacob, this
That's
is not
right.
so sure. We had this with Yuma. I'm giving you a get, the Kohen Gadol with the third wife, whatever it was. I'm giving you a get in case I don't come out or whatever. How is that ever chal, all these types of things? It's also double shalai by law.
It's chal right before the person dies over there.
When he gave it, I'm sure what they give it, it was double shalai by law. So the whole thing doesn't make sense then. No? Wasn't that the case?
No, what do you mean? What?
And the Kohen Gadol, before you had to have the separate wife, you know? Remember that case?
Correct, right? Yeah, the Kohen Gadol has to have his wife. Yeah.
Okay, so you had to give her a get that would fall in place in case his other wife, so he could be married, you know, the whole thing. Why do you say Davar Shalom Ba'olam over there?
No, there. Well, you're saying that he's marrying. No, because there he's marrying multiple wives. He can marry multiple wives.
Anyway, it's
Right?
a Tanai over there. It's not. It's not a Dovish Lo.
It's not what I mean. He's marrying the lady. He's marrying the lady because he can marry multiple wives. If the lady that he's marrying would be married to somebody else, then it would be the equivalent. But that's not the case. That's not the case. Anyways, okay. So let's see. So again, Zoktim Gemara again. Yeah, you can't take truma from something that's detached on something that's attached. Right? Vim Tarim, and if you did, ain't truma say truma, because one is chayev in truma and one is potter because it's still attached to the ground. Okay, so we already said the zushtel to my suksofim. Fine. Omar Peres Arugazu Tlushim you truma Peres Arugazu Mechubarim. He says now okay, we have to pay attention to this case. It's technically sounds the same, which we already said it's not truma, but it's gonna be a little different case. If you have Peres from this aruga detached, and he wants it to be truma on aruga. How do you touch aruga? It's really not a batch. What's it called? A patch? A patch?
Row.
A patch. A what?
Art scroll says row.
Row? Okay, I thought aruga is more like a patch, right? Isn't that they say a patch like a patch of okay, whatever.
But within the patch, you have rows.
Oh, okay. So I hear that. So he has some that are attached and some are detached. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly. So anyway, so he's taking some from attached onto detached to attached. Peres arugazu mechubarim you truma al peres arugazu tlushim. Or he says the other way around. He says I'm going to take truma from these things that are attached for truma that's detached. He says it's going to happen when I detach him. And he's not taking it off now. The first line in the Gemara was talking about where he's doing it right now. So that obviously doesn't work. What he's doing is he's saying, I'm taking the truma now, and it's going to be chal when I detach it. Right? It's a little different. It's a lot different. Right? It's sort of like a davar shel b'layla. V'nit l'shu, and then he taka detaches it. So then Mao, what's the din? So I'm like, kol shebayadai. Now it is a big yesod. If you have, and this unfortunately we're going to do a whole ashkafa thing, but I don't want to take up people's time. But kol shebayadai. Anything that's in your power, in your hand, literally, anything that's in your power to do, lav kimechusar ma'isa dami, that's not like it's missing a ma'isa, meaning it's not like davar shalav alana, meaning you have no idea. If you're marrying a lady, if you're marrying a guy's pregnant wife's kid, you have no power whether that kid's going to be born alive, not born, if it's a boy, girl, you have no idea. It has nothing to do with you, right? But something that has to do with you, then that would work, meaning you have the power to detach your truma if you so choose. So therefore, that's called davar sheba la'olam. Meaning that's since you have the ability to do this, that's considered like you have power over it. Since you have power over it, memela the kinyan could work.
You don't know if it's going to get rotten. You don't know if nothing's in your control. What do you mean?
Enochanami. But
you don't know if it's going to get rotten. You don't know if somebody's going to destroy it, burn it. What does it mean? Nothing is in your control. Nothing is in your control.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. So from this, right? Nothing is on.
No, we think we're in control. No, nothing.
Correct. Well, we don't
If we didn't learn it more from this week, then there's nothing. We didn't learn anything our whole life.
Correct. Right, but on the surface, your kasha that maybe it's going to get rotten is a good question. But I think right this second, it's not rotten, and he could go cut it down right now if he so chooses. So mamela, it's considered like baloila, meaning it's not pshat. Yeah, we know that you could take care of everything. No, right now it's considered like it's in this world because I'm standing in my aruga. I'm standing in my field right now. I'm going to let it grow for another week or so if I so choose because it gets riper. Fine. But right now, I have the wherewithal to just cut it down. Since I have that power in me right now to do it, memela, that makes it as if it's in the oilam now. It's not davar shalav oilam. Meaning in the lumdus, you're 100% correct. But the way it works is that you can do it right now, but you can make it like it's baloilim. Right? A pregnancy, you can't do that. Right now, 100% right. Now we think things are in our hands. We think that's the way. Unfortunately, we go. But obviously, things are not in our hands. Okay, so Gemara asks the Pasha the Kasha from the Mishnah. He says, I'm going to marry you after I become a ger. Or after you become a geyaris. After I free you. Or after you get freed. Or after your husband dies. Or when your sister dies. Or after you get chalitza. All these cases is not b'yada. He has no idea when this lady's husband's going to die. He has no idea when his sister's going to die. Right? But Ela ger, havi b'yadai, but ger, that's in his hands. He could become a ger. He has the choice to become a ger. So why doesn't that one work? Ger nami la b'yadai. No, even becoming a ger is not b'yadai. Damar Rav Chiya bar Rav Amar Rav Yochanan Antam Beis now. Ger tzorach shloisha. A ger needs a bezdin of 3, right? You need a bezdin of 3 to watch him go into the mikveh. Make sure that he's makabel all mitzvahs. My time a mishpat ksibe. It says mishpat. Kidin, it's like a din. Mi yemer de mizdakale hani tlasan. Who says he's going to find 3 people? Well, who says he's going to find a bezdin that's going to be willing to be megayirim? So mamela, that's not considered biyadoi, right? And mamela, it's not, again, even though you're going to say, what's the chances of him not finding 3 yidden? It's not the point. In all probability, he will, but it's not biyadoi because he may not find 3 people that are willing to do it. Yeah.
Why didn't the Gemara ask Gershom is guy or Katinik Chanel dummy? And therefore he's a different person once he's Megayer. He's not the same person who was trying to be Mekadosh this lady. He's a different person. Once he titles and he's a yid, he's a different person.
He's a different person. Yeah, but who says he's going to get to that person?
So that would be a reason to say it's ain't a Mekudeshes. But that's another way to answer. I mean, why do you have to go to Beis Din? Beis Din's easy to find. With money you can find the Beis Din. Yeah. Okay,
maybe. But the point is that's right. Now, yeah. Now, actually, Taisus, the top Taisus, we're not going to. Don't worry, don't get nervous. It's a shtickle big Taisus, but Taisus says it seems like only the Kabbalah's mitzvahs needs gimel, but Tvila bechad sagi. Tefillah, to watch the tefillah, you only need 1. If you already did the Kabbalah's mitzvahs. I don't think that's the way we pass him, but that's what Taisa says. Right? Fine. Okay, so then Maskola Rav all 3 lines down. Maskola Rav nice and pruta l'shivchasai. A guy gives a pruta to his shivcha. He says, I'm going to marry you right now. He gives her the money right now. And he says to her, the marriage is going to be after I free you. Daf Kiddushin. So you're going to say it's Kiddushin too, because he has the power to free her. But we said in the Mishnah that it doesn't work. So when it says, now this next line could be misinterpreted. But I mean, maybe it should be interpreted like this. Hasame kara behema. She's a behema. Hashta das acheres. Now, this is what Racham sort of what you were saying. Now she's considered a total different das. Meaning, when he gave her the money that he's going to marry her, she was a behema. She was not a human. So right now, once she goes free, she becomes a yid. Now she has das.
Besides her yad, any money she gets belongs to him anyway. He gives her pruta. He says, "Give me back the pruta," because she's. How is the chal on her? Well, before he frees
That's exactly what the Gemara is saying. That's the way Rashi explains it. She's a behema, meaning she doesn't mean that she's actually a behema. It means she has no das. It doesn't work. It's mechusar amaisa. You don't have a maisa kiddushin here because she's of no mind. Right? Meaning it's no different than giving the kiddushin to a cow that belongs to the owner. Okay, so now you got to wonder about this case. A guy gives a pruta to his wife, and he tells her, he says, I'm giving you this money right now, but first I'm going to divorce you, then I'm remarrying you. Right? Right? This guy's got a lot of plans.
That's because he wants to become the mitzvah.
Maybe. Maybe
Obvious-
Master B'Shotza is a
mitzvah?
mitzvah. Maybe
What mitzvah?
Obviously, he's not a Cohen.
the mitzvah of Master B'Shotza.
Yeah, he's obviously not a.
So, but yeah, so Naphtali, you're right. He's Master B'Shotza, and he's afraid somebody is going to chap her the second he divorces her. So he wants to marry her right now.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard they mentioned this to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, that's all, and he said, I won't dare because she knows me well enough, she may not want to marry me again. So,
Okay,
Just
there you
saying.
go. So that's it. So that, yeah. Yeah,
assuming he meant it in jest, but
I'm assuming so. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's what this guy did. He gives her money now. He says, I'm going to divorce you, and then this money is to remarry you. It should be a Kiddushin. Why? Because it's all in his power. He can divorce her, he can remarry her. So the Gemara answers very pashut. No, it's not. It's not all in his power. Need to be Yadi Lagarsha, be Yadi Lakacha. Yeah, it's in his power to divorce her, but she may just decide after he gets divorced that he's not marrying her, that she's not marrying him. Right? So just because he's giving the money now, and it's in his power to marry her, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be true. Okay, so then the Gemara says, if that's the case, Tifshay Debai Rav Oshia had a shaila. Now this guy's a real winner. He goes over to a woman, gives her 2 prutas. He says, with one of them, marry me today. And another one, he says, so he's not even married to this lady. He gives her 2 prutas. One, marry her. Then he's going to divorce her. Now the second one he's going to give her. So Tifsha Mina Deloy Kiddushin. It's, let's say from there, it was Rav Oshia had the shaila. He didn't answer the shaila. So why don't we answer? Why don't we answer for him? It's not going to work. Right? If it doesn't work for the guy that's married already, it's not going to work for the guy that's not even married to her yet.
We let
So
these
my answer
guys
is no.
walk around. How do we let guys like this walk around? How do the rabbis even like?
I don't know. You have to wonder whether these are real cases or they just
did
made
this
them up.
actually happen?
Even if they made them up,
Who
they should
knows?
just smack them around.
Yes, Enochanami, you got to be nuts to let a lady get into this marriage, right?
Well, we had all
So
the
the
wild
Gemara-
cases in Gittin, and then we're not.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we have the cases before they get married?
didn't we say that women want to get married? That have a very strong.
That's true. It could be. It could be they're desperate enough. So, yeah. But anyway, so now Gemara wants to say the shot. So now the Gemara says Alam Deshateretz Dilma Ki Hechi the Tafsi Kiddushin Hashta Tafsi Nami Lachake. No, this is different because here he's giving her 2 prutas. The first pruta definitely works, right? Because he's marrying her, right? He gives her 2 prutas. One, he said, I'm marrying you right now, then I'm divorcing you, and I'm going to remarry you with this second pruta. He gives it both at the same time. So maybe the reason why Rav Oshia's shaila is more of a shaila, we can't answer it from our case, is because maybe since the first pruta works as a Kiddushin, because it's Pashut. It's Pashut that works as a Kiddushin, right? Because he's marrying her. So maybe it piggybacks, that second pruta piggybacks on the first one. Again, Dilma Kiyechi, the Tafsi Kedushay Hashta, Tafsi Nami Lachake. So it's also typhus after this. Fine. Tanik Avasei the Rabbi Yochanan, Ein Tarmim and Atalash Alam Chuber. We're not going to do, you can't take truma from something detached onto something attached. Bim Taram, and if you did, ain't truma say truma, the truma is not a truma. Ketzat. Amar Paris Arugazu Tzlushin you truma Paris Arugazu Mechuberes. The guy says that the fruits that are on this row, you called it a row, right? Of detached is going to be truma for something that's attached. Paris Arugazu Mechuberes you truma Paris Arugazu Tzlushin. Or he says the opposite. The Paris from this row that's attached is going to be truma for the Paris that are detached. Lo Amar Klum, he said nothing, right? Because you need to, they both need to be attached. Aval Amar Lekeshayitlashu, but if he makes a Tanai, and he says the truma is going to be chal when I detach it, when he does, and then his words work. Fine. Yes, al kain. More than that, Amar Rebbe Eliezer ben Yaakov, afilu Amar Peres Aruga Zu Tlushin you truma al Peres Aruga Zu Mechuberes. If he says that the Peres from this row that are detached will be truma on the Peres, on these Peres that are attached. Peres Aruga Zu Mechuberes you truma al Peres Aruga Zu Tlushin, and the Peres from this uga that are attached will be truma on Paris that wasn't detached. Shlish, He says it's going to happen when they grow to a third of what it's supposed to grow. And then I'm going to pick it, meaning the first case we're talking about where it grows fully, and he says he's gonna detach it. Here he's saying when it grows a third and it's going to be detached. And then he did it after it grew a third. Dvarav kayam, and then his words are makuyim. So now this is a different shita.
Is there a
Rashi,
difference? I'm sorry. Is there a difference between something like a berry that grows from the ground versus like grapes that are on a vine somewhere? Because this is Rav Yochanan's shita here is like in direct contradiction to several Mishnayos in Zerayim.
Well, yeah. So he's holding. Well, yeah, I'm not familiar. I mean, I looked at it once in my life, maybe more, but certainly don't remember it. Rabbi Yochanan, it's a machlokes because Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov right here, Rashi says he holds davar shalav olam works, right? So right off the bat, it's a machlokes. So that's what I guess that's what you would say, right? So anyway, so that's his shita that it davar shalav olam works. So you don't have power, you don't have control over the growth or not the growth.
How is this a machlokes? He's picking the fruit, and it's kayam. In the case of Yochanan, he's not picking the fruit. He's just saying part of the fruit that's separated, part of the fruit that's growing is going to be part of truma. It doesn't work.
No, but he says the last case is likashayitlashu benitlashu. Then it works, right?
It's pshita. It's pshita. Once it's picked or cut or detached, it works. You're separating it once you cut it.
No, but he's taking off the truma before it was cut.
Maybe this is like continuing that conversation of can you give Meiser before you get the money in your hand. Fruits can do all sorts of things.
No, Hanami, that's part of the shaila. That's part of the shaila. No, but here, Avi, because it's in his power to cut it, so therefore it works, according to Rabbi Yochanan. It's in his power to cut it. The second case, when he says when it's going to grow a third and then I'm going to cut it, that's not in his power. Right? But he has no power to say whether it's going to grow a third. Meaning, because it's not before it grows a third, he's not.
It's not halal according to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. It's not. It does. It's not halal until it does grow a third, and then he picks it.
Right.
So he's not disagreeing with Rabbi Yochanan.
He is because it's not in heat because he says it works.
It works, but it only works once it hits a third and he detaches it.
Right, but when did he take off the truma? He took off the truma before that happened. Right? He took off the truma, I think. No? I thought he took off the truma before it happened. So Mamela, since he took it off before it happened, it could only work if you hold that you could say there's a kinyan davar shalav olam even if it's not in your power. I think that's the way I'm understanding Rashi. Yeah. So Amar Rav. So that's it. So that's that. So now Amar Rava, we have this interesting tushtel that we get here. So Amar Rava, he only said it. Maybe this answers what you're saying, Avi. He only says it when it's going to be shachas is like junk. It's going to be junky vegetables, right? Meaning you can give it as a shachas. It's like for animal food. Aval ba'agam, but with agam, which are Rashi says they're soft. Yeah, loy Reb Yosef.
Seedlings.
Loy, I'm sorry, loy, right?
Seedlings.
What?
Seedlings.
Who?
Seedlings.
What is like
that? It's when you plant the seed and it first comes out, that first stage, that's a seedling.
Yeah. Okay, so that meaning so then which one is seedling? Shachas? No, agam.
Agam is the seedlings.
Agam is seedling.
Okay. So Amar again. Amar Rabba loy Amar Rabba Elazar ben Yaakov elo b'shachas. Agam loy. But by agam, it doesn't apply, right? B'meila, why? Because it's nothing. Meaning when it's shachas, so at least at that point, the third, it could be used for animal food. But when it's agam, that doesn't work. Even in agam, it works, right? Because it grew already, even though there's nothing you could do with it, but at least it grew. So my mashma dahai agam lishna de botzilnahu. Where do you see that the word agam is a lashon of that it's very young? Amar Elazar the Amakra halachuf ka'agmain roishay. When you bend down your head, when you bow your head, it's actually a question, like I don't know, like an agmain, which is meaning when they first grow, so they bend over a little bit. Fine. So then Keman Ozlos. Now again, we have a machlokes whether Rabbi Elazar Yaakov's din applies to junky stuff or not. So Keman Ozlos had the Tanya Omer leChaveroi im Yolda Ishtach Nekeva Mikadeshes Li. Right, a guy says to his friend, if your wife gives birth to a girl, I'm going to be married to her. Loy Omar Klum, he said nothing. That's only if she's not pregnant. I mean, he goes over to this guy and says, if your wife ever has a baby, I'm marrying the baby. Fine. Reb Chanina says, but if his wife is pregnant, then his words do work. Right? So Kiman, who is he going like? So it's mamash a fascinating way to compare cases. Ikarab, so the Gemara answers, Ikarabba, right? If it goes like Rabba, Kishahukar Obra, it has to be when the pregnancy is seen, right? Meaning, because Rabbah before said that Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov's din, that the truma works is only if it's shachas, if it's actually something edible, meaning there's something there, even if it's just edible for animals. So Mamela, he would have to say that she needs to be recognizably pregnant. And Rabbi Yosef says no, it could even be, what do you call it, seedlings. It could even be seedlings. Even if she is not recognizable pregnant, right? Meaning he knows she's pregnant, but it's not recognizable, that would still work, right? So we're comparing the maturity of vegetable or wheat
Why don't we
to pregnancy. What?
Up to 40 days. After 40 days, it's either a boy or a girl, or an androgynous.
No, that's true, but she's not. No, but halachically, she's not considered visibly pregnant until after 3 months. Now we're talking about whether she has to be visibly pregnant, or do we just know that she's pregnant? Meaning, yes, after she misses a period, so in all probability she's pregnant, but it's halachically not considered like she's visibly pregnant until she's pregnant until she's visibly pregnant.
How is it Mekuyim, the what's it called, if it's a boy?
No, because it's not. Obviously, it's not. If it's a girl, he's saying, then I'm marrying her. Right? He's saying,
say the same question. What if they had twins? If she's carrying twin girls, yeah, how does that work? It says obviously in some cases that are not possible. So yes, she's carrying a boy. It's not possible. She's carrying twin girls. It's not possible. But obviously we're talking about the case where it's possible.
Well, if she becomes a girl,
yeah.
So that's an interesting thing. Like we discussed this by how do you call it? Kaparas, right? So a pregnant woman needs to bring a male chicken and a female, right? So he said, what happens if you know from a sonogram that it's for sure a girl, and you see it? So now, is that considered like a girl already or not?
No, you never can tell it's a girl by a sonogram. The only thing you can tell for sure from a sonogram is it's a boy, but if because there's something there. But when they can't see it, then it's a suffix. It's a girl or a boy.
Not a suffix. I'm saying.
It's not a suffix and a suffix. You just you don't know because it's just not visible as a sonogram.
Right. Let's say you do know.
Let's say you do know.
That's the question.
They test it from the blood, the mother's blood, the X and the Y chromosome.
Do that too.
You can do amniocentesis.
Or you could do an amnio too. Whether an amnio is mutter, that's a different story, right? But enochanami. So the question is would the technology say that we trust the technology or we don't trust the technology? Right. Same thing with what else is another shiloh when it comes up? What does it come up with the sonogram? I don't remember. Okay, fine. Bikadami still say a different version of this machlekes. Amar Rabba Loyam Rabba Lozman Yaakov Ela b'shachas to be kivsha. We only said it by shachas, which grows in a self. How do you say it? It just gets irrigated with rainwater. Aval b'shachas the base shakya, but in shachas of a field that needs to be manually irrigated, loy, then it doesn't apply, right? Because you need people to come irrigate, right? Because you need to make sure that it's going to be taken care of. It's not a guarantee. If it's taken care of by Hashem, I mean, obviously everything's taken care of by Hashem. But if it's irrigated by rainwater, so then there's more natural. Even if it's shachas from a field that has to be manually irrigated, right? Right? I mean, you can cut them. You can cut them now. So then the Gemara says, "Come on, if your wife gives birth to a female, she's mekudeshes. It said nothing. It only tells you where the woman is not pregnant. If the woman is pregnant, then the words are mekuyim. So come on, who's that like? So we're saying that's talking about. You could say kishahukar ubra. That's when the ubra is fully recognizable. Then divrei akol. Everybody in that case is going to hold that since she's already visibly pregnant, so therefore that's considered in this world. Then again, this is all in Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov. Then Memela, then the Kiddushin would work. Right? Yeah. Okay. Fine. We will stop here. That's a good place to stop. Fine. All right. Everybody should have a good tvach and a good yar and besuras tovas.
Amen.
And now I shall go make Havdalah.
So, Rabbi Stein, what bracha
Good
does the
chaydish,
person
Taka.
make?
Good chaydish. What?
My question I texted you, what bracha?
It's called Asher Tzog Egois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Fine.
All right. What's up, everybody?
Good luck.
Right, good luck.